Hi, everybody. I'm 72 years old. I worked for 38 years as a maintenance supervisor at a school district in Ohio. I saved everything I could. I did everything right. But I'm wearing this mask today because I can't let my daughters know what I did. I can't let them see the shame in my eyes. They think I'm still living off my pension and my savings. They don't know the truth. I lost almost everything, $273,000. Gone in less than 6 weeks. And the worst part, I helped them take it. I drove to the bank myself. I withdrew the money myself. I packaged it myself and sent it away, all while believing I was doing the right thing. That's what makes this so hard to talk about. I wasn't some confused old man who didn't know what he was doing. I was convinced, absolutely convinced, and that's what I need you to understand. It started on a Tuesday morning in March. I remember because I had just gotten back from my weekly grocery shopping. I was putting away the milk when my phone rang. The caller ID said it was from Washington, D.C. I almost didn't answer, but something told me I should. The man on the phone was very professional. He said his name was Officer Michael Patterson from the Social Security Administration. He had a badge number. He gave me a case number. He said there had been suspicious activity on my Social Security number, that it had been used in Texas to open bank accounts, that there were warrants, that my benefits were going to be frozen. I felt my stomach drop. You have to understand something. My Social Security and my pension are what I live on. Without them, I'd have nothing. The thought of losing that, it terrified me. Officer Patterson told me not to worry. He said this happens all the time. He said there's a process to fix it, but I needed to act quickly. He said if I didn't handle this in the next 48 hours, my accounts would be seized by the federal government. He used words like asset forfeiture and criminal investigation, things that scared me. He told me I couldn't tell anyone, not my family, not my friends, not even my bank. He said that would compromise the investigation, that if the criminals found out we were onto them, they'd disappear with my identity forever. It made sense to me at the time. It really did. He transferred me to another man. This one said he was from the Federal Trade Commission. His name was David Kramer. He had an official-sounding voice, calm, reassuring. He told me they were building a case against a fraud ring, that my information had been sold on the dark web, that I was a victim, but I could help catch these people. He said the safest thing to do was to move my money into a protected government account temporarily, just until the investigation was over. He said it was like witness protection, but for my assets. He made it sound so legitimate. I stayed on the phone with them for 4 hours that first day. They walked me through everything. They sent me documents by email that looked official, letterheads, seals, case numbers. They even gave me a website to verify their identities. Of course, I didn't know they had made that website themselves. The next morning, Officer Patterson called me again. He said things were moving fast, that the criminals were trying to access my accounts right now. He said I needed to go to my bank immediately and withdraw cash to secure it. He said not to explain why to the bank teller, just to say it was for a personal purchase. I was scared. I didn't know what to do, but he stayed on the phone with me the whole time. He told me to put in my earbuds so we could talk while I drove. He said he'd guide me through everything. At the bank, my hands were shaking. The teller asked me what the withdrawal was for. I could hear Officer Patterson in my ear telling me what to say. I told her it was for a used car I was buying from a private seller. She looked concerned. She asked if I was sure. She said it was a lot of money to carry in cash. Officer Patterson told me to be firm, to say I knew what I was doing. So I did. I told her I'd been banking there for 20 years, and I knew how to handle my own money. She looked hurt, but she gave me the cash, $47,000. I drove straight home with that money in a bank envelope on my passenger seat. Officer Patterson congratulated me. He said I did great. He said the next step was to secure the funds by converting them to cryptocurrency and transferring them to the protected federal account. He said this was standard procedure now because regular bank accounts can be hacked. I didn't know anything about cryptocurrency, but he walked me through it, step by step. He sent me to a Bitcoin ATM at a convenience store 30 minutes away. He stayed on the phone the whole time. He told me exactly what buttons to push, exactly where to scan the QR code he sent me. I fed that machine $20 bills for almost an hour. The clerk kept looking at me. I could tell he thought something was wrong, but Officer Patterson told me to ignore him, to stay focused. When it was done, Officer Patterson sounded relieved. He said the funds were now safe, that I'd done the right thing. He said someone would call me in a few days with the next steps. But the next day, David Kramer called back. He sounded urgent. He said the investigation had expanded, that they'd discovered the criminals had accessed my investment accounts too, my IRA, my savings bonds, everything. He said I needed to liquidate those accounts immediately and secure those funds the same way, or I'd lose everything to the fraud ring. I was exhausted. I hadn't slept well in 2 nights, but I was in too deep now. I believed them completely. They had been so helpful, so professional. They knew details about my accounts. I thought only I knew. How could they know those things if they weren't really from the government? Over the next 3 weeks, I made 6 more trips to Bitcoin ATMs. I liquidated my IRA. I cashed in my savings bonds. I even took out a small loan against my house. Every time, they had a reason, a new threat, a new urgency, a new account that had been compromised. They called me every single day, sometimes twice a day. They sent me documents, updates on the case. They made me feel like I was part of something important, like I was helping catch criminals. My daughters called a few times during those weeks. I didn't answer. I couldn't. Officer Patterson had told me not to talk to anyone. When I finally did call them back, I kept the conversation short. I said I was fine, just busy. They sounded worried, but I brushed it off. The turning point came on a Thursday. I had just sent the last transfer, $273,000 total, everything I had. Officer Patterson told me the case was almost closed, that I'd be getting my money back, plus compensation from the federal government for my help, within 7 to 10 business days. I felt relieved. I actually felt proud. I thought I'd protected myself, that I'd been smart. But then I didn't hear from them for 2 days. I called the number Officer Patterson had given me. It was disconnected. I tried David Kramer's number. Same thing. I felt a cold dread creeping into my chest. I went to the website they'd sent me to verify their identities. It was gone. Just a blank page. I sat at my kitchen table and I knew what had happened. I put my head in my hands and I cried for the first time since my wife died 8 years ago. I had been scammed. Completely, thoroughly, professionally scammed. I called the real Social Security Administration. They told me they never call people asking for money. They told me I should report it to the police. I called the local police. They took a report. But they told me the truth. They said these scammers are usually overseas, that the money is almost impossible to recover, that I was one of thousands of people this happens to every year. I couldn't eat for 3 days. I just sat in my house with the curtains closed. I kept replaying every conversation in my head, every decision I made. How could I have been so stupid? I thought about telling my daughters. I picked up the phone a dozen times, but I couldn't do it. They would be so disappointed in me. They'd want to help, and I couldn't bear that. I couldn't bear being a burden. I couldn't bear seeing the pity in their eyes. So I've been living on my pension alone. I sold my car. I cut back on everything. I told my daughters I'm just simplifying my life, downsizing. They don't question it because I'm 72 and that's what people my age do. But every day I live with this shame. Every day I think about what I lost, not just the money, but my dignity, my confidence, my trust in myself. I want you to understand something. These people are professionals. They know exactly what they're doing. They study people like us. They know our fears. They know how we think. They know that we grew up trusting authority, trusting officials sounding voices on the phone. They're not stupid criminals making obvious mistakes. They have scripts. They have fake websites. They have answers for every question you might ask. They work in teams, transferring you between departments to make it seem more real. They call you every day to build trust. They make you feel special, important, and they count on you being too embarrassed to tell anyone what's happening. If you're listening to this and you've gotten a call like I did, please hang up. I don't care how official they sound. I don't care how scared they make you feel. Just hang up. The real Social Security Administration doesn't call you asking for money. The real IRS doesn't threaten you with arrest over the phone. The real police don't ask you to buy gift cards or Bitcoin. None of that is real. If someone calls you with an urgent problem, tell them you'll call them back. Then look up the real number yourself. Don't use the number they give you. And before you do anything, call your children, call a friend, tell someone what's happening. I know it's hard to admit when you're confused or scared. I know we don't want our kids to think we can't handle things anymore. But I'm begging you, don't let pride cost you everything like it cost me. No legitimate organization will ever pressure you to act immediately. No real investigation requires you to keep secrets from your family. No government agency needs you to send them cash or cryptocurrency. Those are all red flags. All of them. I'm telling you this story because I can't tell my own family. But maybe I can help someone else's family. Maybe someone listening to this right now is getting those calls. Maybe you can stop before it's too late. I'm 72 years old. I worked my whole life. I saved everything I could, and I lost it all in 6 weeks because I was too scared and too proud to ask for help. Don't be like me. Please, don't be like me.